Practicing for a while, but the first official day, does it feel any different?
It actually doesn't. I try to make it feel different for the guys a little bit because it's always an exciting time. Your adrenaline gets going a little bit, but the rules are so different now with what we can do in the summer and what we can do in the fall, and we have an air of excitement about it's almost basketball season. I wish we could practice outside today, but it's basketball season. It's right around the corner.
You had a couple of guys, obviously key pieces of last year's team, Jessup and Hobbs, who had off-season surgery. How excited and do you think they're going to be this season to be on the floor healthy?
It is great, and I've seen a difference in Justinian just today, day to day, and with Hobbs too. We just kind of got him out there going again. And I remember thinking, boy, it's nice to see Hobbs doing his Hobbs things. So I expect great years from those two seniors, and what Justinian played with last year, when you see the pictures of what they took out of his leg, it's really remarkable that he had the year that he had. And credit to him. That kid is so tough, and it was always hard to figure out because he just wouldn't say anything and he wouldn't really tell you how he was feeling. But in hindsight, boy, he was really hurt.
My friend references because of Drimmick, but I think about with Jessup how he went from a shooter to a scorer, kind of like Anthony Jefferson before he got hurt. What sort of transition is that like? And Justinian said it wasn't easy.
Yeah, it's not, because his MO and his decision making, he's always making the right play. But as a scorer, sometimes you got to be a little more aggressive, and you got to be almost selfish. Where about every great scorer I've coached has a little bit of selfish, just that proper amount of selfishness to I'm gonna go get one, and they're gonna have to make some tough shots now and then. And so the tough shots might always be not the 100% right shot, but they're good enough to make them. And so it was a bit of a transition for him to understand that. And the other day we were talking to him about, hey, you're the guy that we'd love you to take game-winning shots because you're gonna make them. And so to do that, you got to be pretty aggressive with them.
What aspect of this team most excites you?
Just all the pieces. We've got a lot more choices as far as it's not going to be all on one guy getting 25 every single night. I think we've got versatility that maybe I haven't had in a while. And, I think that's going to really, really affect our guys that have proven night in, night out they can score. It makes their job a little easier when you can't key in on Justinian, when we got 4 other guys out there with him that can score.
Shooting wise too, where's the team going to rank shooting wise?
That's hard to say, because I haven't seen. There's a lot of guys that haven't made shots in a Boise State uniform yet, including some of the freshmen that are looking pretty good, and they can make some shots. I know they're doing it in practice, but just you see when the lights come on. I think they got some moxie and some confidence, and I'd be surprised if they didn't do it, but it is different, when you get them out under lights.
I can see one aspect of this preseason that might be a little tricky. You've got Abu, who won't be eligible until the second semester, and then you kind of have to wait and see what happens with the manual. How do you approach that in practice?
Yeah,
That's
a little bit tricky. You're right, and especially with what they bring, because what they bring could really, really impact this team. And it's the first year we've played Mountain West games before Christmas. So what a bad year for that to happen. The fact that we won't have Abu till that Christmas tournament. So, but that's just part of it. We just got to figure it out, and because he's a good fit for what we already had. We had guys that know our system, know what they're doing, but they're not as vocal and loud and aggressive as Abu is. So he kind of brings something that we're missing a little bit.
What is the status with ACON?
We don't know. I haven't talked to compliance today, so I don't know.
I mean, are you hoping? Obviously, you want to know fairly soon so you can
start
moving forward.
Because, like you said, that planning, there's a lot up in the air, and both those guys can really contribute. And I expect if both of them were playing, they'd have huge roles. And so when a guy like that is on the fence, it can, as we get closer to games, I don't think it's that big of a deal for the next couple of weeks. But pretty soon you got to start slicing things up and figure out who's going to be out there. And so hopefully sooner than later.
How impressed were you with the kind of the initiative that some of these guys took in the off season? They're saying that they took a week off after that Mountain West tournament loss, and a lot of the guys were back in the gym and eager to start proving again.
Well, Jay, you confused me with that question because I thought you were going to say how impressed with you are how impressed am I with the football team? And I was going to say I'm really impressed. They're off to a great start. That Florida State win propelled things, and I'm so impressed with the toughness of our quarterback. And golly, we got a tough team that just keeps sawing wood, and we always use that as an example for our guys because it happens before us, and we pay really close attention to these games this first couple months especially, and it's been a joy to watch that. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, sure, why not?
You're the best.
Part two.
Another way though.
Okay. Yeah.
You look at these guys, and you go back to your first team, and those guys were so young, and they kind of had to learn how to win.
Oh,
And
boy.
we talk with these guys, they feel like they've been battle tested.
Yeah.
I feel like their maturity will definitely help them this year. So how do you see that playing?
I agree, 100%. They went through stuff last year, and every great team, every great organization, at some point they're going to go through. We call the Valley of Death. Got that from Gordon Jones here in the college, and that valley might be long, it might be short, it might be 3 games. Well, last year it kind of was a season where they just kept battling, and those guys showed character all the way through. Well, they're going to come out on the other end, and it's because of those tests they had to go through that made them better, it made them closer as a unit, and they're going to do everything in their power, which was working hard in the summer, working hard in the fall, all those things that you need to do to be a great team. They've done that because of what they went through together.
In your time coaching, you had a guy quite like Derek Alston, in the fact that when he came here as a walk-on, he was maybe the skinniest guy I've ever seen. And he goes out there and has a year like that. I mean, his ascent is pretty remarkable. I mean, anybody comparable to that?
Well, you think back, we've had a lot of, this is what we, James Webb, if you would have saw him the year we put him at the JUCO, and the length that he came, and Chandler came such a long ways. Now he had a little more hype and a little more talent at the base, because he wasn't as skinny as DA was, but then it gives you a big sense of pride in that kid, and he's worked for everything he's got, and he's going to continue to do that. And if he does, the sky's the limit for where he can go with the game of basketball, and that's what I'm excited to see this year.
What did you learn about your team through last season? Just about these guys?
Well, we always said that good teams don't have clutter, and we just had a little too much clutter last year. But I was proud, like the guys that are here, and we had a lot of guys that just kept battling, and so I was really proud of that. The games were just probably a minute too long last year, so hopefully we can finish a little bit better this year. And but we've got a great nucleus back, and I think we added the pieces that complement the guys that we have back. So I'm excited to watch it.
What was the clutter? Was that spacing on the floor, or was it other stuff?
It just, it was just things, the things that great teams don't do, and that's the beauty of it. Is right now I've got 15 guys pulling the rope in the same direction, and maybe one of the hardest working collectively as a group, maybe the hardest working group I've had. And I think, not only that, it's sometimes you get a group like that and there's not talent.
Right.
Well, this group has talent and hard work. So I think if we put that all together, it could lead to some great things. Also knowing that maybe we have the toughest schedule we've had in school history with the preseason that we put together.
Good.
Cool.